Team Fortress 2. I mean, you should already know what this game is about, so I'll just move on to the next segment. Console tf2. To some, it's this weird relic of the past. To others, it's this anomaly that nobody really talks about anymore. And to even more, it's almost like this nostalgic piece of work that you never actually get to experience yourself. But for me, it's all I've ever really known, because I never played TF2 on the PC, or any game on the PC for that matter. This was my TF2, and this was gonna remain my TF2 for the rest of my days until I die. And frankly, I'm okay with that, because I have seen some of the weapons in the game, as well as some of the poor balancing, the bots, and just some of the raunchiest things that people will say in text chat. So me necessarily wanting to stay here isn't a bad thing in the slightest, considering what I would be going into. And frankly, in some cases, TF2 on Xbox is better than TF2 on PC. But why exactly do I think that? Is it the weapons, or the enemies, or the bots? No. I mean, sure, those are some nice things to not have to deal with. It's nice to not have to deal with a soldier that can insta-kill you simply by jumping from one place to another in seconds, or a group of snipers that aren't even real players playing the game, they're just bots. But the main reason why I enjoy this game, and will continue to enjoy this game, is simple. The modded servers, and everything that they bring to the table. So let's talk about them, and why they are so fun to play. So if it wasn't already obvious, TF2 has a very strange community, to say the least. I mean, that's what several years with no updates does to you. But probably the strangest thing in TF2, besides the player base, would have to be the modded servers. And what exactly is a modded server? Well, it's simply just a server which takes other parts of the game, like for example in this one, you can see Nova Prospect from Half-Life, and then it puts it into TF2, because that's all it is. Just taking parts from Portal, other assets from the game, even computer files, and then just sticking it into 2 or sticking it into some kind of other map. Although from what I can tell, it seems like almost every modded server involves 2 in some way. Or at least, the core basis of Capture the Flag. Although there was one time when I did see a mod that used Dust Bowl, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, modded servers at their time were perfection. You couldn't really go wrong with, random JPEGs and multicolored soldiers and critting all the time, and every time you shoot your gun. There was just the simplicity of it, mixed with the fact that it was different from the usual TF2 gameplay, is what made it so fascinating. And I'm pretty sure a lot of TF2 Xbox fans can agree with me that every time you see a modded server, you click on it at the very least to see what it has to entail. And sometimes I'll stay on there for hours without even realizing it. That's just how fun they are. That, you don't have to rely on different types of weapons or different types of cosmetics or other maps. You can simply just have the few core maps modded into oblivion, which I guess is still a testament on how good TF2 is as a whole, but it also is a great way of showcasing that modded servers are just really fun. And to all the people that spend the time working on modded servers, thank you for your service. It is truly deserved, and any bit of fame that you have is truly something that you have earned with the amount of hard work you put into some of these. But with all that blabbering aside, let's actually get to talking about the modded servers themselves, and each individual one that I've encountered. So, from what I can tell, there seems to be quite a lot of differences between each one of the types of modded servers, each one bringing their own thing to the table. Sometimes it's just a map change, like for example, the one in Nova Prospect that you're seeing right now. These ones are the easiest to explain. It's literally just putting one map from one game into another. There are also sandbox servers to where you just screw around with broken stats and weird-looking characters and voice lines from other games, as well as the occasional racist soldier. There are also mods that give new game modes, like for example, this versus Saxton Hill, which is pretty much just them changing the map and making this heavy black while also giving him an insane amount of stats. There is also Payload in Team Fortress 2, which is modded into Dust Bowl, and there are these weird arena matches that you can do as well. There are also more simpler servers, like the ones that give crit boosted attacks to everybody, as well as infinite metal to the engineer and faster heal rate for the medic. There was also one time when I saw a heavy boxing match, as well as another map that had this really big heavy on it. It was really fun, but the footage was deleted for no reason. With all that being said, Xbox tf2 is generally one of the funnest experiences I've ever had playing a game, especially with the modded servers. Just walking around, seeing, a place look bright purple like in this footage. It's a spectacle, to say the least. It's not something you normally see in games anymore. Sadly, I wish it was true that you could, but I guess that's how the world works. It's just much harder to mod things nowadays on console, and there's a whole lot less creativity when it comes to it. Part of me wishes that TF2 on console would have been given the same updates as PC, but part of me is also happy that it isn't with the current situations TF2 is facing. At least this version doesn't have any significant problems besides the occasional engineer and, the occasional hacker swapping teams. But those are very rare instances. In conclusion, if you have some sort of way to actually get TF2 on console, do it. It'll totally be worth it. I can guarantee that, because there are some things that you can get here that you can't get anywhere else.